And this is what life looks like for me right now. Life in the tropics. But I will always be South African, and I will be continuing posting about South Africa and continuing posting about ways that you can leave South Africa and live in different places. There are so many benefits to having multiple passports. That's basically what it comes down to. Having multiple passports, having the ability to go where you want to go. And as much as as institutions are trying to limit us from traveling, from having this freedom, there are still ways to do it. And I think for me, it's absolutely crucial. Like, if you have the opportunity to get a second passport, you should take it. It is a little document that opens doors for you to so much. Now, I watch the Digital Nomad Capitalist on YouTube all the time because this man, Andrew, is brilliant when he comes up to this. And he actually will help clients to get more passports, get residencies in different countries, and show you how to diversify your income with having it located in different places across the world so that you're not subject to any one tax region, to any one, all the things. I mean, there's this other story going on about South Africa at the moment where they want you to declare crypto as capital. And that is also just insane because they'll stop you at the airport if you have more than $10,000 worth of crypto assets. And then they'll ask you, they want this. This is a bill that they're proposing that they had commenting open until 18th of May, but then they had to extend it because there was such an uproar until June. But basically the bill says then if you get stopped at the airport or anywhere, they'll ask you to hand over all your passwords, your apps, your phones, the keys to your wallets, all the information they need to get into your crypto assets, which is insane. What kind of privacy invasion is that? Okay. So going a bit deep and heavy on this Wednesday morning here in the Caribbean. Let's get on to some lighter stuff. One of the reasons I started my online community and the online group and space and have stayed committed to this whole online business, everything is actually nothing to do with money, but everything to do with the community, with making friends, having people that are like you in the same space that you can talk to and ask questions and just, get ideas from. Because if you surround yourself with people who are either already doing what you want to do or have the same thoughts and ideas and dreams, that's so much more inspiring. And it opens your field to what's possible. Because if you don't know someone who's done something, this sounds so vague, but then you'll never know. You don't know what you don't know, basically. And this has kind of proven itself over and over for me in my life, meeting people and then realizing oh, that's possible. I didn't even know that. I'll name an example for you. Back in 2000, I think it was 2016, 2017, I met a woman. She was from Mexico. She was married to a Dutch husband. I met them on the cruise ships when we were still cruising. Her husband was working with my husband. So my husband is Dutch also. And they lived in Mexico. And she was running an Airbnb. She had 2 apartments on Airbnb in Mexico. And while she was on the cruise, she was messaging with, I think, her managers or her hosts who were sorting out the apartments and cleaning out between guests and probably also messaging with guests. And I, at that point, honestly, I'll tell you, in 2015, 2016, I knew nothing about Airbnb. Nothing. Maybe I'd heard of it, but I really didn't know what it was. So by meeting her and seeing what she was doing on the ship, it kind of it was oh, this is interesting. And I thought, oh, this is quite awesome because here she is on the cruise and her apartment back home in Mexico is making money for her. So I thought this was brilliant. And then by 2018, I had booked ourselves into our first Airbnb apartment holiday. I think it was in Costa Rica. We booked a house in Costa Rica on Airbnb. And then I met the guy, the host. He wasn't the owner. he was just the host of the Airbnb. But he explained to us that him and his wife do this. They have a few apartments that they are the hosts for, like manage the apartments, and they put them on Airbnb. And this is their full-time income. And that's how they run it. And I was fascinated. I was like, okay, this doesn't look too complicated. You basically just have to have a venue, a house that's clean, make sure it's clean, look after the guests and all that. And none of that's too difficult. I mean, I've been in the hospitality industry, like basically almost all my life. First with being a waitress, like while at school and studying. And then secondly, like when I was working on cruise ships, you like basically in a hotel all the time. Even though it was casino, you still have to, that hospitality industry, you have to be nice to guests. So I was like, okay, this is easy enough. So by end of 2018, I started my own Airbnb on our house in Cape Town. So like, that is what I mean. Like 2016, 2017, I had no idea what Airbnb was. I met one person who was doing it. I saw what she was doing and then realized like, hey, I could do this too. She brought it on my radar. Otherwise I would have never known about it. So this is the example that I want to mention so this is why this online community is so amazing. So you get to meet people from everywhere. Like you don't have to physically bump into them in real life, because these days, honestly, I don't know, maybe it's my age, I don't bump into so many new people. And somehow when you bump into people in real life, like, I don't know, online it feels like people maybe share a little bit more faster about themselves. Like you get to learn a bit more faster. But anyways, no matter where you meet people, you learn from other people. And I've always stuck with that. You learn so much from other people. And this is another thing. I'll name one more example. Okay, this is getting very long, but I'll name one more example. I am married. My husband is Dutch. Up until 2020, we thought you can't homeschool in the Netherlands. Okay? But actually, only when I met, it was online, someone told me, no, you can. It is possible to homeschool in the Netherlands. Okay, it's just not under the same principles as what in the law, as what it is perhaps in other countries, but you can homeschool in the Netherlands if you ask for an exemption to send your children to school. And there are two reasons you can do this, 5A and 5B. And 5A is if your child is like medically not capable of going to school, and 5B is if you do not agree with the religious views of the schools in your area. So that is actually what is now in some places turning out that the municipalities are just saying against what the law says. They're just refusing and saying, no, we're not going to allow that exemption anymore. It's this whole, I would say, there's always this thing against homeschoolers, right? In all the countries, they're trying to stop homeschooling. But anyway, so until 2020, I never knew it was possible to homeschool. My husband, who is Dutch, didn't know it was possible to homeschool in the Netherlands. His father, his parents, his brother, everybody, none of them knew it, right? So I met someone on the internet, on Facebook, actually a wonderful, amazing woman. We're still in touch to this day, Wilma, if you see this. And she told me, like, no, it's possible. I've done it, and it's possible, and you do it totally legal. We have a lawyer who helps us, and that's how it starts. By people, the information you share. And I think that is one of the reasons why they like to block gatherings of people who are like-minded. Like, for instance, in 2020, why they shut down churches, why you weren't allowed to go to churches and to bars, because that's where you would meet people, or not necessarily meet for the first time, but you will meet up with people to talk to them in person. And when people come together, they share ideas and they get inspired. Anyway, this was a long video, but I hope that explains to you why this online community of mine is so valuable and why I keep hanging on to this. Like, this is now 5 years in the online space and online business. And one of the most valuable parts beyond the money is the community, the friendships, the community, the wisdom, the information that we share with each other. Okay. Have a fabulous day.